Hi, I'm Tracy Latourette, call sign Jackie O, Colorado's First Lady fighter pilot. We're here at Wings Over the Rockies Air and Space Museum in Denver, Colorado. We're getting an inside look at the world's largest operating aircraft, the Stratolaunch Rock. Rock is key to expediting hypersonic flight technology through testing. With a wingspan of 385 feet, this thing is massive.
We had started with a napkin and built an airplane.
What Rock is doing is transformational for flight testing.
We're continuing to add complexity.
Now it's time for the mission.
If you are launching a hypersonic vehicle from the belly of an aircraft, you have seconds for it to work correctly.
When you're going something like 3,000 miles an hour, the airplane gets hot.
The first time you watch it take off, you can't help but feel like, oh, is it going to be okay?
It's really a renaissance of hypersonic flight.
Release.
This is going to be cool. It's time to go behind the wings. As the sun rises over the Mojave Desert, a one-of-a-kind aircraft is instantly identifiable. Dual fuselages, connected by a single high wing, longer than a football field, and a payload that with each flight is advancing the United States hypersonic flight test capabilities. Stratolaunch named the Rock for legendary bird of prey large enough to carry elephants. Rock carries the Talon A, a reusable hypersonic aircraft that launches mid-air from between the Rock's dual fuselages. Hypersonic flight, defined by speeds greater than Mach 5, remains one of aviation's most elusive challenges. When traveling at 5 times the speed of sound, an aircraft's energy begins to affect chemical bonds. A realm where air becomes fire and the laws of physics wage war against human ambition.
Hypersonics is not new. We've had systems flying at hypersonic speeds for a long time. We had a flight back in 1959, the X-15.
Early on this Thursday morning, the B-52 carrier takes the X-15 out for its maiden powered flight.
We flew over Mach 6, and since then we've had a lot of hypersonic systems, obviously the Space Shuttle, the lunar capsule, Apollo. We've been flying in the hypersonic regimes for a while now.
Back in the 1960s, the United States was a groundbreaking country in hypersonics with programs like the X-15. 199 flights, over 100 of those flights at hypersonic speeds. But then there was a bit of a lull in this country, around the globe, in terms of advancing hypersonics capability. Now it's come back because there's lots of interesting applications. You can look, of course, at the civil, cargo transport. Obviously, there's military applications. Everyone is realizing the benefits of what hypersonic flight can do in terms of going through the atmosphere at 5 times the speed of sound. A variety of countries, including ours, are pursuing that capability.
The new thing is that these new hypersonic missiles that we're talking about are different in that not only do they fly at hypersonic speeds, but also they fly in a different trajectory. The traditional hypersonic missiles, right, like an ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile, it flies hypersonically, right? It re-enters at Mach 20 or above. However, it doesn't maneuver once they re-enter the atmosphere. So the new hypersonic missiles are maneuverable. You can use them to change the target while they're in flight. You can potentially improve their accuracy. You can potentially retarget them while they're in flight. In terms of technology, I would say, you know, the US is probably a little bit ahead of everybody else, but in terms of systems having been deployed, I would say that the US is behind. China and Russia are ahead. In order to be able to develop these hypersonic vehicles, we have to do a lot of testing. We have to do ground testing, which use wind tunnels or hypervelocity test tracks. But also you want to be able to flight test them, because flight testing is basically the final say in terms of what your environment is and in terms of what you're going to be seeing, right? That's the ground truth. One way to fly them is to build a vehicle, launch it, and test it. But that's very expensive. Another approach is what Stratolaunch Rock offers. It's a hypersonic testing platform.
How would you describe this moment in hypersonic flight?
It's really a renaissance of hypersonic flight. Our hypersonic program is really making a lot of great strides and quickly. So we've done a number of flights now, proving out various aspects of the system. We can get through some of the initial shocks on the vehicle as you get through the transonic, that Mach 1 regime. Carrier aircraft, Rock, continues to perform quite well. And now we're continuing to add complexity. We're going to higher altitudes. We're doing more complex propellant management on board our hypersonic vehicle. And what that allows us to do is push to the outer edges of the envelope. Today we can go Mach 3, tomorrow we can go Mach 6, we can go anywhere in between.